And now the floor goes to Kadi Kenk. Kadi is used to be the partnership head of Let's Do It World, a social movement which is running one-day cleanups. And it was, I don't know, 5-6 years back, was decided that why not to do a sort of worldwide cleanup day, that during one day, all countries globally are doing country cleanups. And Kadi happens to be my good friend, and she used to be also the partnership manager of that event. Now she is going to talk about the story of World Cleanup Day 2018. Please.
Thank you, It. Hello, good morning, still. This is me, Kadi from World Cleanup Day, telling you today about how to organize a successful civic action and a sustainable public events. I'm going to start with giving off all the important data in the beginning and then tell you more about the back office side of how things like this can be done. On the 15th of September, we organized the world's biggest civic action, World Cleanup Day. 158 countries and more than 17 million people participated. The whole day was followed with a 24-hour broadcast where the main studio was actually based in this same university. When you go out to your coffee break, you can see a big world map on the floor. It is from that day. We have a story to tell about how people in neighboring countries, some at war, have stopped their disagreements for a day and actually done something in unison. It's an action of not only trash, because this is what they did. They went out on one day to clean up trash from the nature. But it's also about peace. It's about higher values, about caring for our community. And the question is, how do you get stuff like that done? I'll tell you shortly about the history of why are we here today in Estonia, the country where, yes, you can start and lead a global movement. It was 2008 when a group of people believed that Estonia should not be a beautiful country with half of its territory covered in forest and in trash. So they thought that if you want to change something like this, you need everybody to come together and help. So they came up with a crazy plan. How about we clean up Estonia in one day? So on the 3rd of May 2008, 50,000 people came out and cleaned up over 10,000 tons of trash and created a precedent in the world's history. Now, you know the shortest joke in the world, the courtesy of our partners Latvians. An Estonian is running. If you don't get that, the point is we are slow. So yes, maybe I have to agree with them a little bit on this regard, because it took us 10 years to take the model of cleaning up a country to cleaning up the whole world. Now, I don't know if you think that the name of my presentation was how to organize a successful civic action. Do you know what the goal of World Cleanup Day was? Anyone tell me? What did we present we're going to be doing on the 15th of September? Our goal was to engage 5% of the global population to come out on one day and clean up trash. That's more than 380 million people. Now, do you think it was a success? What can be even a success factor if you're planning something like this? Why would anyone in their right mind come up with a crazy idea like this? Well, the thing is, if you want to really change the world and do something big, your ideas have to be bigger than life. They have to be inspiring, because this is how you get people involved. This is how you get their attention. And maybe the most important thing of all to remember is, if you're planning to change something that really matters, you can never fail. Okay? If you're doing something that is really important, that really changes something important, you can never fail. Because the truth is that every piece of trash that was cleaned up on that day, that is no longer in nature, is a win. Every single person who went out, got involved, rolled up their sleeves, is now a carrier of the message that we wanted to spread. Who here knew about World Cleanup Day before I came on the stage? Okay, sorry, who didn't? Okay, let's say 10 more people now know, so I'm not too concerned, right? So we are not saying that our goal was to clean up every last candy wrapper in the world, but to spread a message and to start something that's different. If before it was 50,000 people in Estonia who were working together to say we want to live in a clean community, now it's 17 million people. I think it makes a difference. And we can definitely say we reached 5% of the global population with the message, because that's the only way how you can get that kind of a number of people to go out. Now, yes, you can lead a global movement from Estonia, but I have to admit, we had hardly any resources to do that, and it was based mainly on volunteer effort. Around 50,000 volunteers around the world helped to actively organize this day. So how do you do that? You can't control it. You can't have everybody reporting you their timesheets. You can't be controlling on every word they say or every action they take, every partner they engage. So what I'm going to be telling you about is the 3 core values that helped us to get there. Because through my years in Let's Do It Foundation, working with the movement, 5 years, I have learned that it's these values that make all the difference. Whatever is the goal that your mind is set upon, doesn't have to be a cleanup action. First one, cooperation. Probably one of the most important things you can learn is how to cooperate with people that normally you would disagree with whom you can't even find one thing in common. But what in the earth is easier than finding 10 things that make you different from the person who's sitting next to you? Now, our value is based on the idea that we're going to start from that one thing we can agree upon, and we work together with everyone. We do not point fingers. We talk about what we want to achieve together, and what we agree upon is that trash should not be in the nature. It does not matter who put it there. It does not matter if we disagree who should be paying for it or what should be done with it after we collect it. The fact is that no one can agree that it's better to have trash in the nature. I have not yet before met anyone who would disagree with me. Surprise me. No, that's what I thought. But the challenge here is that it means you're going to have to collaborate with people that normally you would never want to even be in the same room with. You know, some people even to whom you would just really like to say you're downright stupid. You don't have the luxury. You don't get to be the smart one in the room. You have to be the one who's leaning. So it's collaboration. Well, it's also, if I bring it into context, who of you here has ever littered? Thrown anything on the ground? Great, great. Brave people, raise your hands. Now, if I asked you, why did you do it? I'm sure you'd find a reason. And I'm not going to be accusing you that this is stupid and this reason is never good enough. Because if I start accusing you and telling you that it is wrong, what you're going to be doing is defending yourself. And that's not a good position to start from. If I wanted you to start a successful diet, the best approach would not be to come and tell you you're fat. Because you might start hating yourself. And the best case scenario, you won't. But you will definitely not like me too much. So, cooperation. Second thing, positivity. Let's look at the bright side. What do you see on this picture? It's not a trick question. It's a turtle. What you don't see on this picture is trash. Now, who of you here has not heard that our oceans and our rivers and our nature is full of plastic, that whales explode of eating plastic bags, that our turtles are choking on straws? We all know that. And I'm not saying it's not important to spread that information, but when we built our campaign, Then what was important to tell you was that don't feel discouraged by the size and how enormous the problem really is. Let's talk about what you as an individual can really change. It's not every plastic bag that kills a whale. If it's only 1,001st plastic bag, maybe it would make you feel a little bit better to think that one bag that I pick up if I see it hanging in the wind might be the one that makes a difference. Because that's how we need to approach this, right? A handful of trash is better than a bird dead from it. So that's what I mean about make your message clear about the positive change you may want to make and how important it is that every single individual takes action. Think about the positive thing, the outcome of your action, and then focus on that. Because problems in their nature are extremely simple things. We can all see it. And then we get tangled into talking about what is wrong rather than focusing on the positive outcome of our actions. So that helps a lot. And of course, when we talk about positivity, celebrate, have fun in the process. Every step you take towards your goal requires celebration. You mainly are working with volunteers. You have very little to offer them, so what you can do is say thank you and celebrate. If possible, bring them together. Share the good stories, share the great successes, share everybody's efforts. It makes a difference. People want to share and feel proud. And the third one, most important of all, after all of this is done, ambition to action. Work together with people and find in yourself that ambition to action. Because unless you really do anything about the thing that you want to change, nothing will, really. What is it that you care about? Is it obese children, men over 40 dying of heart attacks, baby mamas not getting enough exercise? Just think about what it is and then think what is your part in what you can be doing to change it. And then do it, really do it. Take that action. Because you are now a community. You are a part of a global community. I'm here talking about how we mobilize 158 countries in cleaning up trash. But there are so many great examples from sport events just as well. So embrace the community you're part of, do your thing, and you will find also other people who might want to copy your actions or come and help you to do your thing. So ambition to action, incredibly important. So these were 3 values that helped us to manage a global movement. Now, I didn't tell you anything about whether to prefer Dropbox over Google Drive or which, team management tool to use. None of this because it would not help you. I am sure that we could also have done better in the team management side. We could have used some better tools and practices. But the fact is that while a prettier Excel sheet can make your day more efficient, it will not make your dreams come true. So the 3 values were really very important things to hold on to, because if you don't have them, then at the end of the day, really what you have is a really big headache. And let me tell you why. Because when you have a great idea what you want to do, when you start, you have a dream. You want to do something big. That's where you are, on top of a cliff, a mountain. And then you start engaging people. You start telling them things. You start asking them favors. You start getting partners. They give you money. You start employing people. You make them quit their jobs to support your cause. So with every step you take, you are moving closer to your goal, but also what you're doing is moving higher. So before you notice, you're 100 meters from the ground, and something called possible consequences enter the game. What do you see on this picture? Again, not a trick question. A beautiful view, a cliff, sky is blue, some sunshine, mist. Wouldn't we all like to be there? Not trapped in a little cellar or big cellar of a university. But if you're the one who's taken the position to take risks, that something may go wrong, then you're the one who's going to be facing also the risk. What if something goes wrong and something bad happens? Now I'm telling you like simple things. Sure, you receive money and something fails, and you're owing them stuff. But also, when you organize a big event, how about the terrorist attack? We had actions in 158 countries. We've had occasions beforehand where our actions have been happening a day after a great suicide attack in Afghanistan. Things like this can really bring huge consequences. Everything went that day, but what I'm telling you about is if you're the one leading a big action or an event, you're going to be the one facing possible consequences. And that means your perspective on things is very different. Even though the view is the same. But let me tell you, this person is definitely not marveling on the view. So, how do you deal with that? The first important thing is have passion and real will to do what you're really doing. This is what helps you to focus on how to get towards the top rather than thinking about how hard it is going to be to fall. But that doesn't mean that you have to be, outrageously daredevil. No, you also want to have a plan. Second thing, very important. You have to have a plan. I can assure you the plan will fail. No plan has ever been carried out by, point by point. But the fact is that if you have a plan, it shows your partners how you think, that you have even thought at all. So it's very important that, play it out for yourself, how things are going to play out. Because that makes it easier to then, readjust when things change. Thirdly, what you have to have or want to have make is an effort. You have to insist and resist and keep on going, regardless of all the stumbles and mumbles and no's and all the criticism or negativity or just pure neutral, I don't care, whatever, comes your way. None of this should make your actions less important. It's not the most beautiful and talented who make it to the end, who make things happen. It's the ones who don't give up once they've been slapped in the face. And in the process of organizing big events, you always have that. Somebody tells you you're stupid, somebody tells you you should have done better. You don't give up. Because while they have all the knowledge of telling you what are the things you've been doing wrong, they've never intended to do something as big as you have. So they really don't have the right to be coming to telling you that this is not what you should be doing. And the fourth thing, what was the fourth thing? Let me see. Use your head. So maybe that's the thing that causes the biggest headache of all. You have to be the one who does the thinking. And why? Because people around you are the ones who make things happen. You want to surround yourself with a great team. And you don't, but they will do it. But they will do it as long as they trust you. So it's very important that you keep your teams, your partners, people around you, you keep their eyes on the view. So let's see, how are we on time? Okay, good. So I'm pretty sure you all are very excited to know what it looks like from the top. Well, it looks something like this. None of us looks our best after a marathon, right? All jokes aside, what I really mean is that when you get to the top, nothing is ever really over. The work has just begun. An event is something, one of our great team members once made a comparison that it's like a wedding. It's not an end of a relationship, it's kind of a beginning of it. So obviously, one day, World Cleanup Day was not there to solve all the trash problems in the world in 24 hours. We got the attention, and we have many people to talk to now who want to take action. And now that's what we're going to be doing. The show must go on. So on the 15th of September, while the world was busy cleaning up, what Let's Do It Foundation did was that we released a Keep It Clean plan. And that is a strategy document that can help any of you to make the real change. So as an individual, when you leave this room, I'm not going to be asking you to go clean next year, although that would be a great thing to do as well. Aside from going to run on the 5th of May, as I saw so many great people here are willing to do, what do you think would be the first commitment I ask you guys to do so that the world would be a better place? Not to litter. Never, ever, under no circumstances, please become people who never again throw anything on the ground anymore. That means trash, yeah? Okay. And the second thing, if this becomes easy enough to do, try to say no to one single-use item a week. See how that feels. But you're not just simple individuals. You don't have to just commit to the simplest things in the world. You're part of a global sports volunteer movement, and you can do better. And what you can do better is plan sustainable sports events or public events, depending on who you are here. So I will tell you about where you can get started as you plan your events, if you want to make them really sustainable. If you're really serious about it, you'll probably have somebody in your team to take care of it, or let's say help you manage it, and we're all there for you. We have the expertise and know-how, but it doesn't mean that you can't already get started on your own. So here are 6 important pointers that you can keep in mind. First one being set a goal and share it. Yeah? Set the goal means come together with your team, or if you are a very strong opinion leader in your team, go and say, what is it that you want to do differently next time you're organizing an event? Make sure everybody knows what it is, understands, and is invested into it, because you'll never do it alone. And why do you want to share it? Because it requires more than just your will in order for things to change. You want your partners to know it, you want the public to know it, you want your participants to understand that things are going to be changing. Include the message wherever you can, under your email signature, if you will. Set a goal and share it. Secondly, condition your partners. Not much will change if you only want things to be changing. When you're getting vendors to your events, make sure they know what they have to do differently. What's the goal? How can they help you in order to achieve your goals? What can they sell or refrain from selling at your events? And definitely let them make a list for you of all the materials that are going to be left over as trash during and after your event. Because what that helps you to do is then consult your waste management partner, who can then in turn know and provide you all the necessary separation options. Yeah? And often that can reduce your waste management costs as well. Because now you're going to be getting some clean materials, it's not trash anymore, etc. Offer smart gadgets. Not everything with your logo on it is necessarily valuable or useful. Really think about what is the stuff that you use to make your event visible, and how do you premiere your volunteers and your participants. Maybe next time consider an up shirt instead of a t-shirt. Think of what are the things you really want your participants to have. What do you think they really find useful and valuable? Fourthly, event design. Simplest things. Where can people actually dispose of their trash? Where do you place recycling bins? Do you have the same conditions for the vendors and the participants alike? How do you really plan that? How are the signs put? Are they readable? What are the labels like? How is the communication? Do people really understand? And then include volunteers, a big issue. Just like you need volunteers to guide your participants on the track, you also want volunteers to guide people where to put their trash, how to separate. And this has an impact way further from just your sports event, but it also engages people in a wider community to know better what to do and how to separate. And and very important, post-event planning. That means, what are even the materials that you are using for your event? Can you rent them? If you have to own them, are there something you can reuse? Or maybe you can donate them after your event to somebody else who can benefit from these materials. Try to make sure that the stuff that you're using already during your event are not something that end up as landfill and trash at the end of the event. And make sure that you communicate that on every step of the way. That's where I really emphasize communication is incredibly important. It's your chance and your power to make single use the new doping. This is how severely you should be looking at it. And this is a great impact you can have on the world, really. Communication, incredibly important, because while trying out new things is exciting and interesting, it is also inconvenient. It means people have to change. So it will be way easier to start managing a sustainable event if your partners and volunteers and your employees are invested and informed. It makes it easier. And in no time, everybody gets used to the new situation and will be living in a better world. And this is the way how you can all help to keep it clean. So thank you very much. These are my contacts if you ever have questions or you want to reflect back on what I've said. Also, thank you on behalf of the Estonian Republic, for whom this has also been the 100th birthday gift. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Kadi, we have a small present to you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Anita, we forgot the present. We always forget something. So if we see us forgetting something, please remind us that you forgot to give something to somebody. Okay, thanks a lot. Do you have any fast questions to Kadi? I have one. Will cleanup continue next year?
I am sure there will be cleanup actions taking place also in the future.
Politically correct answer. Please.
I heard that there were Estonians in China or somewhere there also doing this cleanup day.
Well, it was 158 countries. I can assure you pretty much in most of them, Estonians, with their moral obligation, were all out and cleaning. Well, I have to, if I want to maybe impress you with something, then the biggest participant number, by the way, didn't come from any place that you might think is a logical assumption. The biggest participant number came from Indonesia, and that was over 7 million volunteers. Wow. So we have some great success stories to say how this action has really boosted sustainable thinking in countries. But we have, well, I could spend days talking to you about this, but really the important thing is that there are certain values that help you get stuff done. And then if you're interested in the details and you really want to know how things were done or some specifications, then just approach us. We're very nice people and we're always willing to help. One more question? Just somebody, something on their mind? No? I will be around the whole day, with a little break, and hope to get to know you guys better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kadi.